Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to provide you a big update on MSTR, which you may not be aware of. All right, this change could affect how the company operates. So if you're an investor in MSTR or maybe the popular Yield Max Fund ETF MSTY, then you'll definitely want to see this video. All right, let's get into it. So there was an article that just came out from Business Wire announcing the change to MicroStrategy to Strategy, which is now the new company name. Strategy unveils a new name, Bitcoin logo, and orange brand color, which we will cover here in just a moment. New websites launched for Strategy software and branded merchandise. Leadership to address new brand earnings call today at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard. So right now I'm making this video after the earnings call, so we'll go over the earnings here in just a moment. Basically, MicroStrategy Incorporated today announced it is now doing business as Strategy. Strategy is the world's first and largest Bitcoin Treasury Company, the largest independent publicly traded business intelligence company, and a NASDAQ 100 stock. We already covered kind of this whole Bitcoin Treasury thing in an earlier video on MSTR and how they were basically moving the company towards being a Bitcoin trust of sorts, or a Bitcoin company that's going to issue out different types of, fixed income instruments to investors that want to invest in Bitcoin indirectly, right? And we also covered in a earlier video how Michael Saylor is turning MicroStrategy or Strategy into a Bitcoin alternative. So let's go on to see what else he had to say. So from Michael Saylor, the founder and executive chairman of Strategy, formerly known as MicroStrategy. Strategy is one of the most powerful and positive words in human language. It also represents a simplification of our company name to its most important strategic core. And I'm going to butcher this name. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry said, "Perfection is achieved not when there is nothing more to add, but when there is nothing to take away." After 35 years, our brand perfectly represents our pursuit of perfection. Feng Li, who's the president and CEO of Strategy. Strategy is innovating in the two most transformative technologies of the 21st century, Bitcoin and artificial intelligence. Our new name powerfully and simply conveys the universal and global appeal of our company and the value we bring to the strategies of our shareholders, customers, partners, and employees. So if you guys saw an earlier video I did right now on AI, well, the video on AI, right now in our current environment, we have such favorable conditions for both cryptocurrency and artificial intelligence. We have a current presidential administration that is putting in place a lot of cabinet members that are very favorable to both the crypto industry and to the AI industry. So MicroStrategy is basically bridging the gap between these two industries, crypto on one end and artificial intelligence on the other. So they're basically becoming an all-in-one stock, which is, very, very interesting to say the least. And only time will tell if this is going to be a good play for the company. But let's take a look at their brand new website. So this is from Strategy's own website. We are the world's first and largest Bitcoin Treasury Company and the largest independent publicly traded business intelligence company. All right, we provide native AI-powered enterprise analytics software to thousands of global customers and leverage 35 years of software expertise to explore innovation in Bitcoin applications. We believe the combination of our operating structure, Bitcoin strategy, and focus on technology innovation provides us a unique opportunity for value creation. So I don't know personally too much for Bitcoin applications other than the whole P2P or peer-to-peer, payment system. So if they're going to be coming out with some type of payment system, is left to be seen. But they are definitely involved, and they definitely want to stay involved in Bitcoin as a currency, right? As a digital currency. They are, if you could be bullish on cryptocurrency or Bitcoin in general, this company is definitely bullish on Bitcoin. So anyways, let's continue on. And we kind of already explored the investor relations page in one of our last videos that covered this, as well as in one of the lives. But basically, Strategy is the world's first and largest Bitcoin treasury company. We are a publicly traded company that has adopted Bitcoin as our primary treasure reserve asset. By using proceeds from equity and debt financing, as well as cash flow from operations, we strategically accumulate Bitcoin and advocate for its role as a digital capital. Now, let's really break this down. So whenever they issue out common shares or fixed income instruments to investors, in the form of common shares, ticker MSTR, or maybe you invest in maybe preferred shares through the company, they're using the proceeds from that to buy more Bitcoin. They take on debt, right? Debt financing, and they use that money to go buy more Bitcoin. Whenever they make a sale of their, software, their AI, BI software, Strategy 1, they're using the proceeds or the revenue from that to go buy more Bitcoin. So this company is obviously very, very bullish on Bitcoin. They, like it says right here, they're strategically accumulating Bitcoin at every moment, right? They had 11 consecutive weeks of purchasing Bitcoin. And we'll dive into that in just a moment. So the Treasury strategy is designed to provide investors with varying degrees of economic exposure to Bitcoin by offering a range of securities, including equity and fixed income instruments. So again, there's institutions out there, large funds that want to invest in cryptocurrencies, but because they're funds and they have a responsibility to their investors, they won't invest in cryptocurrency or Bitcoin. So instead, what they can do is they can invest in strategy, which is indirect exposure to Bitcoin. They can also invest in, the fixed income instruments, which is also tied to Bitcoin, right? So this is how funds are getting around the whole, do not invest in cryptocurrency thing. They're investing in companies like Strategy. All right. So in addition, we provide industry leading AI powered enterprise analytics software, advancing our vision of intelligence everywhere. We leverage our development capabilities to explore innovation of Bitcoin applications, integrating analytics with our commitment to digital asset growth. We believe our combination of operational excellence, strategic Bitcoin reserve, and focus on technological innovation position us as a leader in both the digital asset space and enterprise analytics sector, offering unique opportunity for long-term value creation. All right, so I know this is kind of a word salad, but yeah, they're basically going to create some type of software for Bitcoin, right? And they haven't announced it yet. I haven't seen anything on it yet, so maybe they will in the future announce some type of application that's going to use Bitcoin specifically. But yes, they are fully integrated with Bitcoin, and not only that, their software is now going to be probably moving towards AI or some type of AI development. All right, so let's take a look at their webpage, because this is interesting. This is when you go to strategy.com or microstrategy.com, this is what you're going to see. They have the price of MSTR's price, a couple metrics here and there. They have the price of Bitcoin, again, a couple metrics here and there. This is their debt, right? So this is them issuing out debt. And basically, investors can buy into this, and this will give them that exposure to Bitcoin. Excuse me. So interesting to know this, right? It's very interesting to know this. So assets, again, they're actually showing you kind of what they have. They have MSTR. They're comparing themselves to the Mag 7 or the Magnificent 7, which is Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, Amazon, Meta, Tesla, and Google, as well as the other indices or indexes, whatever you want to call it. SPY, which is the S&P 500, QQQ, which tracks the NASDAQ 100, bonds, gold, IBIT, which is the iShares Bitcoin Treasury Trust, and then VNQ, which is a real estate index from Vanguard. So they're comparing MSTR and Bitcoin to all of these other holdings, right? Very interesting to see this. So then they have the options, some charts of how MSTR is performing against everyone else. And then they talk about the history. And here on their history, you can actually see when they purchased Bitcoin, right? They make this very public, which is really cool. I think this is a great, a great method of transparency, because you can't get enough transparency from companies, right? So I think this is very, very cool. You can also see when they purchased Bitcoin. Okay, you can see when they acquired Bitcoin. Right now, they have 471,000 Bitcoins. All right, full Bitcoins at an average cost basis of $64,000. Right now, the price of Bitcoin is hovering between $97,000 or $97,000 and $103,000. So the current price, which we can get into in just a second, is between those numbers, right? So I think this is just really cool. And then they have some notes of, kind of how this company is operating. So real quick, we'll just do some quick math. Purchases, they have 471,000 Bitcoins. And we can see from the price of Bitcoin today, $97,000 for one Bitcoin. So if we wanted to do some quick math, they have almost $46 billion in Bitcoin, right? Crazy, crazy, crazy. That is huge. So let's look at their other company, right? Because they basically split the company in two. They have the Bitcoin Treasury Company, essentially, that does, common shares and that also issues out debt and takes on debt financing to go out and buy Bitcoin, right? And then they have their software suite. And I said this in one of the lives that they're probably going to get rid of this whole software suite at some point, and I'll explain why I think that here in a moment. But this is their new website, and they completely split it. They split the company in half, and it's called the Strategy One software suite, and it has AI and BI analytics, so artificial intelligence and business intelligence. And basically, these are just really fancy dashboards, a really fancy dashboard suite for companies to use, and they can get like a pulse of how their company is performing every single day, every single minute of the day. All right, so it's really cool. I think it's pretty neat, but again, I mean, I'm not running a multi-million-dollar business, so this would really have no effect for me. But they're starting to integrate AI into their business suite. And again, I made another video on, and I'll probably link it somewhere up here, but I made another video on why you should be bullish for AI, right? Why you should be bullish at least for the next 4 years, definitely for the next decade, because AI is going to be in everything. AI is going to be in software. It's going to be in healthcare. It's going to be in the finance services. It's obviously going to be in the software and hardware services. And it's just growing, and it's growing exponentially. So if you want to take advantage of AI, the AI trend, and want to invest money into it, this would be a prime opportunity for that. So and in the video, I go over 3 different ETFs that you could possibly consider for your own portfolio. All right, so along with all of this, they also had earnings call. So let's take a look at how they did. So this is coming from TipRanks. MSTR MicroStrategy misses estimates but introduces new KPI and accounting method, which you can go back here and where is it? You can go here and go to notes to kind of figure all that out. I haven't dived that deep into it just yet, but this is basically going over their earnings. So shares of MicroStrategy are down 3.33%, now rebranded as Strategy. Little changed in after-hours trading after the analytics software company, better known for its massive Bitcoin holdings, reported earnings for its fourth quarter fiscal year 2024. Earnings per share came in at negative $3.20, which missed analyst consensus estimates of only negative 9 cents per share. All right, sales decreased by 3.1% year over year, with revenue hitting $120 million. This also missed analyst expectations of $122 million. However, investors are likely more interested in the company's Bitcoin. So we covered this before, where MSTR is sitting on a substantial amount of Bitcoin, and because under the Inflation Reduction Act, they can basically almost get taxed on the whole capital gain that they have for their Bitcoin. And just looking at MSTR's earnings, year over year has been constantly going down. They have not had a good earnings report for a couple of quarters, and this current quarter makes no difference, no change in that. This is obviously showing that the company is not making money, but they do have a sizable Bitcoin stash, and their stock price is pretty much tied to their Bitcoin, right? I've covered that you can see MSTR. You could see the same pattern in their stock price, almost match the price of Bitcoin, right? Almost match the price of Bitcoin, almost 1 for 1. So it's interesting to see stuff like this, right? The problem, I think, with MSTR having so much money in Bitcoin is if they get taxed on that capital gains, and that's a huge if. If they get taxed on that capital gains, they don't have enough money to actually pay for that fee. All right, they don't have enough money for that, so they would have to sell some of their Bitcoin in order to make that up. And they have about $8 billion in unrealized capital gains that they would be taxed on, or that's the tax bill that they would have to pay for their unrealized tax on their capital gains. So that would present a huge problem for Strategy. Strategy and Coinbase have sent a letter to the current Secretary of Treasury, basically asking for exemption. Should this exemption pass, they will not have to worry about the whole capital gains on unrealized or taxes on unrealized gains that they have, which would be a huge thing, especially for how much crypto that Strategy has. Same thing goes for Bitcoin. So again, under the current administration, we have favorable conditions for crypto. Scott Bessent, who is the current Secretary of Treasury, is very favorable for crypto, and I can only assume or surmise that he's going to grant Strategy the exemption. So it will be not really a big deal for Strategy to have so much crypto, so much Bitcoin on its balance sheet. So that'll do it for this video, guys. I hope you got a lot of value from this. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Please let me know what your thoughts are down below. Are you investing in MSTR? Are you investing in Misty? Do you think this will affect Misty? Because again, this is basically MSTR being split in two different companies. One or both of them, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and AI are a great combination, especially for the current environment, especially since there's so many tailwinds. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know down below. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I'll see you guys in the next video.